Right, Jim, thanks so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you coming along.
Pleasure.
And
Thank you.
To my happy home.
Yes.
This is my home from home.
It's a nice place to be.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. Okay, I'd really like to ask you a few questions because of your experience with menswear.
Sure.
Now, and you know your tie-ups with magazines. So, I'm very curious. How did you find the process with Harvie and Hudson? Did you?
I loved it. And you walk in, you have a real family feel. You know, kind of it's been running for a while. You know, it's kind of been passed down generations. Everyone's so knowledgeable, and I think when I shop often, I try to buy heritage. I try to find a story, and that really comes through here. You know, everyone knows exactly what they're doing, and you were telling me stories from like your granddad, and yeah, it's really lovely. So I feel like I'm in safe hands.
Amazing, that's great. Okay, so. Really, that probably brings me on to the next question: is what attracted you to Harvie and Hudson? Maybe it was that, and maybe it was...
Yeah, actually, I remember bumping into you. Was it like 2 seasons ago at Fashion Week?
Yeah.
I lost your card. You gave me.
Yeah, that was very hurtful.
Yeah. So then bumped into you again at the following Fashion Week, and I was like, do you know what? I should really go in because I'm usually wear the same shirt brand. I've been wearing them for years, and it's time for me to broaden my horizons, and coming in here it's like I say, it's really lovely that you're so well looked after. It's not like going into the usual place where you're kind of a bit of a number that, oh yeah, we know who you are, blah blah blah, done. There's conversation, you get a whiskey.
And you get a whiskey thrown in. That's only for bespoke customers, I must say.
Of course.
Okay, why do you choose bespoke shirts rather than purchasing off the rack?
I don't think anyone, certainly not me, is kind of rack size. Like, I know that I've got broad shoulders, I've got quite a slim waist, I've got the longest arms in the world. If I buy a shirt just off the rack, I tend to, if it fits me in the body, then it's too tight in my shoulders, so I get like a pull here, and it always comes up to about there. So I kind of need to get bespoke if I'm going to wear a nice shirt, and especially if I'm going to wear a suit, because you don't have a bit of cuff showing and
smart occasions.
Totally, yeah. And I think if you've got a bad shirt under your suit, it really shows because it looks uncomfortable. So I think for people who aren't your average small, medium, large, you kind of have to.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of it's one of those things that people don't think about doing. They think about shoes, made-to-measure shoes cost a fortune, but they think about the shoes because they're obvious.
Yeah.
They think about the suit because that's obvious, and they think, oh, shirt, I'll just cover it up.
Yeah, because it's kind of under a layer, isn't it, I suppose?
Like you said, you can see it. You can see it, and it also, the collar sinks away below the shirt. Hopefully mine isn't. But it sinks away below the shirt.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you look scruffy, even though you've got,
I mean, genuinely, you could have a really, you could have a beautiful suit that's like £3,000 or something, and amazing shoes. But if your shirt's wrong, then suddenly it kind of lowers the aesthetic, I suppose.
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference. Okay, so do you think more men should get bespoke shirts? I mean, do you think that's?
I think if people who wear shirts a lot, it's also one of those things where that you can trace back exactly where the cloth's from and everything, so you know the quality, and you know that it's gonna wear well and get better with age, and you know that they'll look after you. So if a button falls off or something, you can swing back in. If you need something nipped or tucked or whatever, you've got that kind of care. So I think for people who can afford to and who have to wear shirts a lot, then totally.
Yeah, I mean the nice thing I think is that, number one, if you have it made, it's not only is it the right shape and it looks great on you, it's also the pattern that you wanted.
Sure.
It's the fabric you wanted. And maybe this year in a store you can't find an aquamarine that you really wanted to have, or you can't find the specific style or stripe that you wanted. Well, what you can come back and you do is look at your book and you can say, that's the one that I want again. Yeah. And I think another thing that I really like is the fact that if a fabric's unusual, I can actually, if that shirt can't be remade, I can usually recolor it and recuff it.
Right.
And that comes to sustainability that everybody's talking about.
It's really important.
And the cost per wear and the sustainability, I think, is.
Yeah, this is the thing. I think it's really important to encourage people now to buy for longevity and to invest in something rather than buy a shirt, wash it once, realise it's shrunk and you can't wear it again, then have to go and buy another one, and it's a real waste, and the amount of pressure that puts on the infrastructure and the system and the people who make things is you know, genuinely destroying the planet. So things, the way you can be responsible and source everything is super important.
Yeah, it's nice to know where it came from, and you know that actually it lasts long enough for you to not feel bad about that. You know, you can chuck things, you know, t-shirts, whatever, in 3 washes, can't you? But this lasts for a long time.
Sure.
So, how do you find the perfect suit? I mean, I'm curious to know about suits.
I have many suits. Do you know what? It's got to the point now, because what I do for a living, I have a wardrobe full of suits, so I just kind of now think, what am I missing? And actually, I've now started turning down suits because I have too many, and it's one of those things where, unlike, say, my wife, for example, once you've been seen in like a really beautiful dress or something, you kind of, unfortunately, you can't really wear, you can wear it again, but you know, in the industry we're in, people are like, oh, she's wearing the same dress twice. Yeah. Whereas a suit, you can mix and match and you can play with it, and you know, a brown suit's a brown suit, so if the same brown suit twice, no one's going to kind of bat an eyelid. So for me, what I look for really is kind of one, a really beautiful silhouette. I'm quite fortunate that I'm very tall, and I also have quite like broad shoulders and a slim waist. So I've got quite a nice shape.
Yeah.
So I look for something that I can really accentuate that with, and then keep it really classic and really simple. Got a couple of slightly more fun suits, but even they'll be tartan or something, so they're not outrageous. I just sort of think I like to keep my I let the shape do the talking, I think, you know.
It's super important. I think you've hit it on the head, you know, because as a buyer, I've bought all types of suits to sell to my people, and what happens is that sometimes you think, you know what, I really am going to push the boat out with this one. I'm going to make it really special. It's going to be, you know, very bright and you know, interesting check and whatever. They don't really sell. That's the bizarre thing about it. And you know, I like it, but it doesn't sell. And I think the reason is exactly that. Is because people know that you've worn it before.
Totally.
You turn up at the same place, you know, or with the same friends. They know you've worn it before. But there's nothing better than a beautiful shoulder, perfect fitting sleeves.
And it's the sort of thing you can wear over and over again, and if it's kind of a classic colour and a classic shape, people might know you've worn it before, but it doesn't matter. They'll be like, you know what, that suit's worth wearing.
It's so
over
good.
and over again. Yeah,
I'd like to wear it too, sort of thing. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. Okay, so this is a question really because of your background with the writing and being involved very much with GQ, etc. What do you like about fashion?
I think
what do you enjoy about it?
I think what I really like about it is it's accessible to every single person, whether regardless of the amount of money you have, or your race or your gender or anything. It's a way to express yourself and be really individual. You know, some people can't draw and they can't sing, but you know, you can express yourself in the clothes you wear, and we can all shop in the same shop. We can all go to say to here or Top Man or anywhere, and you can pick, you know, totally different items or the same items and wear them differently, and it's a really wonderful way to show who you are, I think.
Yeah, because even if the piece isn't individual, the way you wear it can be individual. I mean, I've been surprised at times when I've seen, you know, people with trainers and smart trousers, and you know, and originally I sort of looked at that and thought, was it dark when you put those on? You know, and then after a few weeks, you sort of think, oh yeah, okay.
Especially in somewhere like London, where it's super eclectic and there's you know, influence from cultures like from all over the world in one hub. I think it's amazing. You know, people wear things that I would never think of, and I don't always like it, but sometimes I think, you know what, that's bloody amazing, and that's totally what you should wear. So well done you. I think that's kind of what really appeals to me, I think, about fashion.
Yeah. It's individuality, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah.
You know. Okay, so who are your favourite fashion designers apart from Kerry?
Do you know what? I feel like there's been quite a lot of change lately. I tend to try to wear British when I can, because I feel like it wasn't all that long ago where we were the hub of everything. Everything was made here, and you know, and then we sort of started shipping things off. But I'm quite proud of being British and like to champion it. So brands that I've worn for a long time are, you know, the likes of Burberry or Dunhill or something like that. But you know, increasingly I'm broadening my horizons, and actually, weirdly, I'm kind of becoming more and more casual as time goes on. I wear a tie much less now. I haven't worn a suit for a couple of months now. Apart from, you know, today is the exception. So I think actually I'm now, I kind of go through. I'm very loyal, but also quite fickle with some things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've only got one body to dress, haven't you? So
Totally.
you do, and you want to enjoy.
I also like,
things.
I have a lot of clothes just for the nature of what I do, and I tend to kind of, once I've got the thing that I love, I'll keep that thing, So I've got a bunch of, say, jackets that I adore, and I've had a lot of them for like 3 or 4 years, and now I just don't want any more because I've kind of, I've reached capacity, and the ones I've got I adore.
Yeah, but it's I mean, designers also. It's nice to find something new as well, isn't it?
Totally.
It is nice to find something new. There is kind of there is a point, and I know in my work there's a point where you can over-engineer clothing, and there's a sort of subtle line between
there is
a little bit of colour, a little splash of colour, nice shots, etc. There's a line that I'm not saying you shouldn't go over it, because you should sometimes, but it's nice to have really good quality, I think.
Yeah, totally.
And design and quality, well, it's a win-win.
It's also up to you. If you have lots of, if you have a few pieces that are quite subtle, then you can throw in like a really loud T-shirt or something to spice it up. I think when you've got the options to do that, the world is your oyster. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, accessories are quite important. It sounds frou-frou, but it's absolutely true.
It makes the pockets when you're wearing, the tie you're wearing, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of contribution would you like to make in the fashion world, particularly menswear?
That is a tough question.
Going forward.
Yeah. I've been really fortunate doing what I do, because when I first started doing this, it was unheard of, and the fact that I had, in my opinion, the best magazine in the world kind of go, oh, we like what you're doing here. We want you to be kind of one of the official tastemakers of the industry is amazing. And there's not really much more I can hope for. I would love to one day maybe design some things. I've tried my hand at the occasional bit, but it's kind of been like a collaboration with someone. But I feel like buying basics is really hard for a lot of people. Like the basic t-shirt, the basic trousers. A lot of people struggle to get them right, and I think that's kind of the foundation for every outfit. So I would like to kind of design some things and maybe kind of help people get those right, because I think from there you can then make everything else make sense.
And it's a kind of it's a realistic start, isn't it?
I think so. I'm aware how hard it is though in the industry to suddenly bring, because guys tend to buy quite loyally, I feel. So it's quite hard for a new person to sort of to bring something out and then go, hey, leave this brand and come to this brand now. So I think actually collaborating with brands has been really helpful for me, because I can then draw attention to the stuff I really care about and really like.
You sort of put your twist on it.
Yeah.
Fashion and being commercial are the difficult things to marry sometimes.
Totally.
Because you do look at it in magazines and you think, wow, that looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
And actually then you think, where would I go in that? So it is.
It can look really great editorially, but on the street, you're like, I don't feel. And the whole point is you've got to feel great in it. You've got to feel confident. If you spend a fortune on a look and then realise that you don't feel like the person in the magazine looked, then you're gonna have problems, I think. Yeah,
or don't feel like yourself.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, isn't it? So,
sure.
Yeah. So, well, look, I think I've covered everything.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Having you here at Harvie and Hudson.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, it's the bespoke area is the crucible, and it's where we work from for our designs, and but it's been a real pleasure having you on board.
My pleasure entirely. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
very much.